So this is problem 1.6.95, and they ask us to write an absolute value inequality with variable x whose solution set is in the given interval. And so that's this interval right here. And then they're actually giving us a multiple choice here to choose from in terms of the answers. Okay, so the first thing that I want to point out is that this is actually working backwards in the problem. So they're asking us, normally you'd be given one of these and asked to solve and find the solution set in interval notation. Now what they're asking is they're actually giving us the solution in interval notation and saying which of these could it have come from. Okay, so that really requires us to understand the definitions for solving absolute value inequalities. Okay, so first thing I want to do is let's just take a look at the answers that are given. There's two that are possible and two that are not possible here. And so if you notice that the solution set here is separated, we're using a union to join two different intervals. For that reason, neither A or B can be the solution to this. And that's because these are less thans. These are situations where we have an absolute value set less than a number. And in those scenarios, those end up being and statements. So the acronym that I generally use to help students remember that less than statements or and statements is the word land. The definition for these is always that you're going to take whatever is on the inside of your absolute values. So for instance, this one, you would, take the x minus 2, drop the absolute values, set it greater than negative 10 and less than positive 10. Written as a string like that, it's assumed that it's an and statement, okay? And statements, the solutions do not end up being unions. The solution set is just one interval for the and statements. Okay, so that's how we know that it can't be either A or B. So it's either going to be C or D because these are greater thans, and the definition for the greater thans, and greater thans always use the acronym GOR. So greater thans are or statements. Definition for those is that you would take the inside, and so we would say, in this instance, x minus 10, drop the absolute value sign, set it greater than your constant here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to flip the inequality and flip the sign on the number, and then this becomes what we solve. So this gets translated into this, and that's our absolute value principle that allows us, that actually defines how to solve this. We go from here to here and then solve. So in this particular, for this particular example, if I were to continue to solve this and add 10, I would see that x is greater than 12 as part of my solution, and x is less than 8 is also a part of my solution. And you can see up here that that's actually the solution. If we were to now take this and put this in interval notation, it would be negative infinity up to 8. The or is always a union symbol, and then we're going from 12 out to infinity. Okay, so it looks like C matches giving us this solution right here. And that's it for this problem.